Alright, this is section V, light switch or photo plug plate, or plug photo plate. Um, what this is this is basically a almost a clear light switch plate. This part is clear, and I do not have a prototype of this, by the way, so this is all you're going to see is on this video of any kind of drawings or anything. I'm basically doing a patent, discussing the PDF patent, which you'll find a copy of in the file, the folder that this video is in. So I'm going to do a walkthrough of that, and then we'll look at some of the CAD files here in a little bit. But definitely listen to the Watch Me Last, or watch the Watch Me Last important video, because that's where I discuss any remaining details and the important method of marketability and so forth you may use, and what real potential exists in this. But here we're just going to discuss what the basic product is. So this, like I said, is basically a clear cover on a plate, on a switch plate that has a solid backing, and in between there is a printable tear out that you can run through a laser printer or an inkjet printer or something like that to print your own graphic for a light switch plate or plug plate or any number of other plates on the market. Like I said, the a switch plate like this might need UL approval, but that'll be easy. You just need to make sure that it's not going to catch on fire, basically. And that's, as far as the plastic is concerned, that's, if it even needs UL approval. I'm not even sure that this would. But the fact of the matter is that's, easily done, with the inner plastic. This is the only part of it you'd have to worry about not catching on fire. Is that they don't want any flammable plastics. I mean, don't use polyethylene, for example. For the light switch plate, that's a big no-no if you don't have fire retardants built into it. But using any common plastic with fire retardants built into it, or PVC. PVC is great because it's inflammable. It's basically naturally 94 VO rated. But at any rate, if you're not familiar with the process of UL, if it requires UL approval, it won't be difficult to get UL. It's just not that that elaborate of a product. You'll have to take it in and test it. It might run $5 or $10 grand to do that. But again, just make sure the plate's not flammable. Basically, it's not going to catch on fire and sustain a flame. That's the key. Because you want to submit something that's 94V rated if you do need at all UL approval. And if you don't, you still it's a good idea to make sure it doesn't catch on fire. So you probably will, in case there were some sparks or something in there. That's why they kind of have those specifications. But at any rate, the idea is, and this is why if you're Avery or somebody like that, you're one of the people I'm offering this to first, because the idea is to have a laser printed sheet, kind of like these, based on like some of your business card printing technologies and so forth. It can be done in a lot of different ways, but a sheet you basically run through your laser printer, and it can have a mixture of plugs and light switch plates or whatever kind of package you want to offer out of the market. Basically they can print their own graphics. They want to, your kid wants a Spider-Man switch plate. Well, he can design his own Spider-Man switch plate and print it out, or even download, some graphics off the internet or whatever, to make his own colorful switch plate. So it's a great thing for parents to keep their kids occupied with. But even if you're an adult, having one, like in your den or something like that, you can take pictures of your favorite vacation or whatnot, and put it in one of these switch plates, to make custom graphics for your home. And plus, I've got a couple of different embodiments here. The first embodiment is just the most generic. It basically is an embodiment. It just kind of snaps on there, and the screws are indeed visible, but the graphic templates themselves, you know, as you can see down here, you know, the templates themselves would have the screw holes, you know, removed for this version of the print. However, there's this other version which is particularly exciting. It uses magnets to hold the clear cover on, and you know, if you read the text and read through the patent, you'll see what I'm talking about more clearly. But you know, this version here basically uses magnets, and this is what I think is a favorite version, because what it allows you to do is have a version that does not have the screws visible, so you can actually hide the screws too, like of a light switch plate or a plug plate. You know, your graphic that you print out, you know, on your laser printer can actually hide, you know, the screw holes. And that's good, because there are a lot of patents out there relating to light switch plates that cover holes. You know, both, you know, recent and but mostly expired IP out there. But this is actually a different way of going about it, and you know, you can get around some of the IP out there that does that. It's not necessary. I mean, again, the product would work fine as the basic embodiment that where the screws show, because the important part is that you can print, you know, graphics out on your laser printer and actually, you know, are in a predefined template, so you just have to pull them off or tear them out of that template, you know, like you see here, you know, and put them, you know, just knock the relevant pieces out of it and so forth, and just like you see here, and then you just put them in the plug or the switch or whatever, and you got your own custom plate. And what inspired me to think of this idea is I was looking around, because I had some other like light switch plate ideas and so forth, and I was wanting to see, you know, I was doing some market research to see, you know, if those ideas were already out there. And one thing that I was taken aback by is that as I was doing my product research, like on Google, I noticed just how many plates there were out there with things like Spider-Man and Superman, and just Halloween plates, and just every kind of plate you can imagine, you know, was done up for some kind of specialty occasion or what have you. And I was like, man, there are just tons of these. I was like, why can't you just print your own? So that's when I came up with the idea that, you know, making a plate where you could actually print on your own printer, either color laser printer or black and white printer, or you know, or an inkjet printer, you know, because you could use an inkjet printer since it's, you know, it's got a clear plastic cover, so you know, it's not going to be exposed to any water or anything, so even an inkjet printer would work with this. You can put your favorite pictures out and make your own custom plates, and then when you get tired of them in a week or two, you can print yourself some new ones out. Now, like I said, you keep your kids occupied for, you know, a good deal of time, and parents love to keep their kids occupied. So I first thought of this, you know, because most of the plates I noticed seem to be oriented towards kids out there, you know, but, you know, there you got to go buy the actual plate. Here you just have to buy the plate once, you know, but then buy the refills every time you run out of them, you know. So, you know, basically, you know, how kids will, you know, the next fad that comes along, they'll want to, you know, do a custom plate for that. It's a great source of revenue for somebody like Avery, or, you know, somebody that prints, you know, is in the business of selling stuff like that goes through a printer of some kind. You know, it's potentially a good little market, and it allows somebody like Avery or somebody like that to get their foot in kind of a new door. You know, instead of being in like Office Depot, you can be in Home Depot now. And I've actually got quite a few other product ideas that, again, if we do business together, you'll be the first door I knock on. That would be right down your alley. That again would be suitable for Home Depot, because I got quite a few more inventions. I got over 2,000 marketable product ideas in my notebooks, and I'm looking to liquidate them all. And you know, as soon as I can get them written up, you know, again, if we do business on something like this, I'll be knocking on your door again. I guarantee you. You know, in fact, if you are Avery, you know, you're going to also see a second product offering I have here. You know, you'll notice that there will be another folder, you know, with another product offering in it. You know, it's a section W. So, but the fact of the matter is that, yeah, I mean, I've got lots more products, but this could allow you to actually get into a brand new area, a brand new type of store that you're not currently in right now. So that's, you know, giving you a foothold situation in new territory, you know, which you might be interested in. which I assume is new to you. I mean, I haven't noticed any like Avery products in Home Depot before, or Lowe's or somebody. But the fact of the matter is, I think this could be a really big seller, just given the popularity of this and how it could keep your kids occupied. But if you guys don't want it, I mean, I'll take it to, Telebrands or somebody like that, and, it can be an As Seen on TV product, 'cause I know it would sell like crazy on As Seen on TV. But I'm coming to you first because I think you could take best leverage, and best advantage of it. So, but it really has the potential for doing a lot more than just pictures too, because again, there's a lot of patents out there that people just don't like the screws, like on a light switch plate, like you see here showing. So there's a lot of patents out there regarding that. Well, this not only allows you to put custom graphics in it, but it actually is for it can be used to hide screws too. So, you get the best of both worlds, because, this is another way around any existing IP, and there's so much old IP out there that covering screws itself is going to be a weak patent. So it means you can get a strong patent on this part of it, this way of doing it. So you don't have to worry about anybody copying us, especially since it's got multiple uses. It's going to be a fairly strong patent because of its other uses. To begin with, but then you got this going for you too as a little side bonus that just fell out of it, because it wasn't my objective to try to hide the screws. It just turned out that way when I came up with this magnet idea, because what I like about the magnet version, it's a lot easier to get off. I mean, you can actually just take your finger and lift the thing off of the wall, because it's got these little kind of hooks on the top of it and a magnet on the bottom, so you just kind of put it in the hooks and just let it kind of close itself, and the magnet will just pull it shut. But then when you want it off, you just take your finger and just pull it off. So like I said, you don't have to mess with any screws or anything with this embodiment. So like I said, even your kids could do it, because they're not actually having to use a screwdriver to actually take their graphic out. Whereas the first embodiment you do, because the screws would actually go in over the plate. It's what holds it together, so only an adult would do that, because parents wouldn't want their kids playing around with an exposed electrical switch. But this one doesn't have that problem, just because of the fact that it's but this one would be fine. It's just the parents would have to change their kids' graphics out for them instead of letting their kids do it if their kids are young. But this one, even their kids could do it. It's just 100% safe. So because of that, it could be a real popular little item. And I, like I discussed in the final tape, I'll discuss some of the marketing strategy and how I think these could be sold. If you watch the Watch Me Last video, that'll have that kind of detail in it. But definitely read the text too, because this stuff is not written out like in typical patentese, which you need an attorney to hold your hand to read. By all means, certainly show this to an attorney and do your own patent searches on it. I encourage that. On any of this IP, because I did as good as I could on patent searching, but it's always good due diligence to do your own patent searching on things when people offer you IP. But the fact of the matter is that this product could really sell out there. But definitely watch the final video on this, where I talk about some of the marketing avenues to pursue with this. In ways that it might be pursued. But I do really think this could be a valuable product, and I think it could be a staple product too, meaning that I think it could outlive the life of the patent. So this could be some really big money for you, and for both of us, hopefully. And it's not very expensive to tool up on. Again, even the UL probably just run you $5 or $10 if you need UL approval. So at the end of the day, and only you can be the judge, on how much the other part of it, the 3D printed part, will run you. But it's certainly part of my patent, though, to have this part patented as well. So I mean, this is part of the patent as well. The idea of being able to 3D print. I mean provisionally patent. Right now it's a provisional patent, of course. This isn't an actual patent; it's a provisional patent. But the fact of the matter is that I expect that when it comes to this kind of thing, you acquire this IP, and again, I'm not asking for a lot for it, partly because it's a provisional patent. But you basically buy this from me, and basically have your attorneys draft up the patent, and with my assistance, of course. I'll certainly help out in any way I can. So this way you can tailor the patent to be as strong as you want for your market, because you know your market better than I do. So in many ways, you know your business more than I do. So you got a better idea of how to make the patent stronger in terms of the claims and stuff than I would. And plus, you can afford to hire better attorneys than I can hire because I'm broke. So at the end of the day, this is really the only way that it'll work for right now. But again, I've discussed a lot of that in probably one of the videos you've watched before this. So anyway, well, without further ado, like I said, watch the final video on this and the Watch Me Last video, and I hope to hear from you soon.